like it was yesterday. The panic, the hysteria, and then the acceptance. Acceptance that Earth was going to be destroyed, and our only grim consolation was that there was nothing we could do to stop it. The neutron star collided, and millions of years of our history got wiped out in an instant. That's why they developed the Rebirth Project. Everyone on Earth fighting for survival, and a lottery among the fittest to see who gets to live thousands of light years away. I won, and that's why I'm here on this Ark ship. I'm a pioneer, one of millions, and our job will be to rebuild civilization in this new solar system. I've been frozen for the entirety of the trip, and now I'm ready to embark on my journey. Our journey.
Yo, ich heiße euch herzlich willkommen, da sind auch wir gelandet im Dual Universe, einem MMO von Novaquark, das sich aktuell in der Beta befindet und entsprechend finanziert wurde von Spielern für Spieler. Und das ist jetzt bisher der Stand, den wir haben, nämlich Beta. Hat eine Weile gedauert, ein halbes Jahr, bis ich jetzt hier in die Beta reingekommen bin. Jetzt ist es endlich soweit. Und ja, die Säulen von Dual Universe laut Novaquark sind Erkundung, Wirtschaft und Industrie, PvP, Bauen und Weltraum. Besonders interessant ist, dass alles auf einem Server stattfindet, in Anführungszeichen auf einem Server. Es ist eine ganz spezielle Technologie, die eben Cluster von Servern so miteinander migriert und mergt, dass im Grunde genommen potenziell so viele Spieler, wie es überhaupt nur geht, auf einem Server spielen können, miteinander handeln, interagieren, kämpfen und erkunden können. Und ja, das klingt sehr ambitioniert. Müssen wir uns auf jeden Fall im Spiel hier auch alles geben. So, wir passen mal an. Ich finde allein jetzt schon so, der Suit sieht schon sehr, sehr geil aus. Und da machen wir jetzt erstmal was Schönes draus. So, schwarz, rot. Die Bestandteile machen wir schwarz. Dass es gräulich ist. Und das ist ein bisschen zu viel. Zu viel rot. Magst du die Kombi aus schwarz und rot? Warum das so ist? Keine Ahnung. Ja. So passt das. Da könnt ihr auch nochmal das Geschlecht wechseln. Beruhigend auch, dass sich hier nichts ändert. Den Namen können wir nicht ändern, oder? Ne, das ist entspricht halt eben dem Namen, den wir ja schon angegeben hatten zu Beginn. Und ja, starten wir auf jeden Fall. Ich bin sehr, sehr neugierig auf Dual Universe. Vor allem auch, wie das inhaltlich aussieht für so einen Solo-Spieler wie mich. Ist das ein Spiel, in dem ich dann trotzdem Spaß haben kann? Oder sehe ich mich aufgrund der Gegebenheiten schon dazu gezwungen, auch langfristig mit anderen Spielern eng zusammenzuarbeiten? Gucken wir mal. Wie starten wir nochmal das Tutorial? Ganz wichtig, Beta.
Welcome to Alioth, Novian. I am Ophelia, the Arkship AI. I will assist you in your first steps, seeing as you just woke up from an extended cryosleep period. Keep an eye on the chat window in the lower left part of the screen. It contains a transcript of what I say, with important information about which keys to press. There is a button, near the window, that you can use at any time to replay this tutorial in the future. I have marked it with a green waypoint. You can also abort the tutorial by pressing the abort key at any time, but this is not recommended. You have much to learn after your long cryo sleep. To start, let's make sure your motor skills are not affected. Simply head towards the green waypoint behind this. Very good. Now, let's try to. You are in perfect shape. Great. Let's try your headlight. Now, take your time to look at the world around you through the glass panes. This gigantic planet is all yours to conquer, as well as the many other planets in the system. You are free to shape the world as you see fit. Build an empire, explore the vastness of space, create a trade federation or a pirate alliance, or live secluded on a forgotten moon. There are no rules here, except for the ones you make for yourself. When you are ready, follow the waypoint and look through the marked window.
So, versuchen wir mal nochmal kurz die Grafik-Settings anzupassen. Das Voxel-Rendering runter auf 5. Ja, aber macht eigentlich keinen Unterschied. Also ich sehe auch, dass mein System nicht überlastet ist, schon noch die Engine.
Let's begin with your tools. Tools are located at the bottom of the screen in the form of quick access slots. You can select them with the quick access keys. As you can see, the last slot is currently empty. We will now learn how to equip a new tool in that place. Approach the highlighted tool. Dispensers are elements, which are very good. The dispenser just gave you a new tool that is now stored in your inventory. The inventory is a central interface for managing everything you carry around with you. It contains items like tools, materials, elements, or blueprints. For now, locate the repair tool that was just given to you, and simply drag and drop it into the... Well done. Now, okay. We are now ready to continue downstairs. This time, we will need to use an elevator. Move to the way. Elevators are connected together via... Welcome to the main room. You can go back anytime by stepping on the same elevator and pressing the jump key to go up. In front of you is a miniature reproduction of the Ark ship. You can perhaps see the real Ark ship through the windows in the distance. Let's try to also find it on your map. This is Alioth, the planet on which you currently stand. You can rotate the planet by clicking and dragging it with the mouse. You can also zoom in and out with the mouse wheel. Zoom in until you can... Each of these tiles is a territory you can claim. Tiles in red are already claimed. Tiles in purple are non-claimable, and mostly exist around the Ark ship. The Ark ship is represented by a small icon in the center of the purple tiles area. At any time, you can center onto your position on the map by pressing the center icon on the top left. You can also create a waypoint anywhere on the surface of the planet. Waypoints are displayed in your HUD so that they are easy to track. To set a waypoint, simply... Very good. Next, the selector area here allows you to list your constructs, review bookmarks, and see any available warp beacons or other points of interest. In the lower right corner, you can find the list of current objectives in a tutorial, usually with hints on how to achieve them. Close the map to continue. Press the upper... You may have seen on the map that certain territory tiles are claimed. To claim a tile, you must deploy a territory unit on the ground. Let's have a look at one. Follow the waypoint. As you can see, it's quite huge. Once a territory unit is deployed onto a tile, the tile belongs to you. This means that you can start to build constructs on it, you can decide who holds rights to dig the ground, and who can build next to you. Territory units are quite expensive and will probably not be the first thing you deploy on Alioth. Instead, there is a simpler way for you to grab a piece of land. Welcome to the observatory. From here, you should be able to see Alioth's moons in the sky. One of them is a very special moon, called a sanctuary moon. We will explain what that means, but first, let's try to locate it. Open the map again by pressing the map. The map also contains a solar. Here you can see all the planets currently accessible in the system. Select Alioth, the planet where as you can see, Alioth has 3 moons. One of them looks a bit like a twin of Alioth and is marked with a excellent. Good. Now, this twin moon, just like Alioth or any other planet, is covered with tiles that you can claim. A sanctuary moon is a moon where no combat will ever occur, as it is a safe zone. This means that a territory you claim will remain yours forever, and nobody can take your belongings or build anything there without your consent.
Sehr geil.
This is a great way to create a safe haven to store your valuables and build your home. You can claim only 1 tile on a sanctuary moon, and you will need a special sanctuary territory unit for that purpose. You already have 1 in your inventory, so don't worry. Close the map window. Notice how the sanctuary twin moon is now identified by the waypoint in the sky. There is a shuttle service, which you will see later, that can bring you there. Okay, let's get back to the rest of the tutorial. Head down via the nearby elevators.
Alles super, das ist jetzt schon mal auch ein Hinweis darauf, dass halt eben das Ganze nicht nur für die PvP-Spieler ist, sondern als PvE-Spieler, das finde ich besonders wichtig, eben sich zumindest mal ein Zuhause schaffen kann, indem man hoffentlich auch genügend Platz hat, um eben auch genug bauen zu können, das halt eben auch sinnvoll ist.
Each will be presented here quickly, and you will be able to discover more about them via the institutes and their dedicated tutorials later. Follow the waypoint to the mining station first. Mining is how you acquire raw materials, if you don't simply buy them on the markets. Raw materials are located either on the planet's surface, or they can be buried kilometers deep underground. Surface materials have a low value, while more valuable materials, from Tier 1 to Tier 5, are found underground. The surface mining activity is performed using the harvest tool, highlighted in the toolbar below. With the tool equipped, you collect harvestable surface or by targeting them and then clicking. Press the quick access key for this tool to equip it, usually the first in the toolbar. Great. Unfortunately, there are no surface harvestable to mine deep underground. First you use the scanner tool highlighted here, which finds available ores in a large radius. Once in close range, the directional detector will help you pinpoint the location of the material. Finally, the highlighted mining tool is used to collect the found material. You'll learn more about these tools in the interactive mining tutorial, located inside the Mining Institute. Now, let's talk about the markets. Approach the waypoint.
Ein bisschen erinnert mich das Ganze an Entropia Universe.
Markets are an essential part of Novian life. This is where you can sell the materials you mine or create, but also buy anything that you might need. Markets are physically located in the world. They are accessible either via market pod units, like the one in front of you, or via the integrated nanomarket interface. The nanomarket interface allows you to browse markets at a distance, but cannot help you to deposit or recover items that are traded. For that, you will need to directly interact with a market pod. Let's have a quick look at the nanomarket interface. You can search for an item that you would like to trade by using these search boxes. Nitron is a fuel you will often use and frequently buy. Type nitron in the search box to see the nitron market. Here are the market orders for nitron. These are all the intentions to buy or sell nitron by other Novians on various markets in the solar system. You can pick the cheapest, you can create your own buy or sell orders, or let the system pick the best offer for you. We will look into this at the end of this tutorial, when we will buy nitron for your speeder vehicle. For now, let's close the nanomarket interface and continue our visit. Okay. Let's now have a look at another important activity, industry. In front of you is an assembly line, one of the many industry unit elements available. These include chemical reactors, glass furnaces, refineries, or smelters. Each industry unit type specializes in certain types of recipes. The assembly line takes ingredients from an entry container, like the one here on the left, and then runs a recipe to craft elements. The elements are stored in the exit container, as seen here on the right, that can be chained as an entry container for another industry unit. The recipes are selected using the industry unit interface. You can learn about that in the dedicated industry tutorial, found at the Industry Institute. Thankfully, entry-level recipes for simple products can be run without an industry unit. For that, you can use your integrated, excellent. Now, let's open the nanocrafter by pressing the nanocrafter key. We are going to craft some fuel. Great. This interface allows you to pick a recipe and run it in the background to produce simple products. On the left is a selection area to pick a recipe. You currently have just a few ingredients, which allow a limited set of Now click on Nitron Fuel. This window shows you the necessary ingredients, which you just retrieved from the dispenser. Fantastic! Your job is now in the queue and a batch of nitron will be ready in a few seconds. That will be all for this short introduction. There is of course more to know, and you can go to the Industry Institute to go through the specialized tutorials. Let's close this window. In general, crafting jobs will continue in the background, and you will get notifications when jobs are completed.
Es ist auch gut, dass sie so eine kurze Einführung geben und dann jeweils immer auf die Institute verweisen, für die jeweiligen Bestandteile.
This bizarre construction in front of you is called a construct. It is a mix of deployed voxel materials used to sculpt a shape and deployed elements to make it functional. To create a construct, you start by deploying a core unit, highlighted here. It will create a building zone, within which you will be allowed to build. Core units come in different sizes and specializations: static cores for ground buildings, dynamic cores for ships or anything that moves, and space cores for space stations. Once you have created your building zone, you can start to deploy matter as voxel honeycomb materials, or voxels for short. You have a large palette of tools and materials to help you sculpt absolutely anything you like, regardless of shape or complexity. Finally, you can add elements to your construct, in the form of engines, doors, lights, fuel tanks, or any of the hundreds of available elements that provide functionality to your builds. Building is a vast subject. It is advised to go through the various building tutorials located inside the Construction Institute. Note that the building you are currently in, as well as all the other buildings outside, are entirely made with the same building tools. As I mentioned, you can also build space or atmospheric ships. Let's have a look at this now. Follow the waypoint to the next station.
Das ist der für mich der interessanteste Part.
A cheap and convenient ground atmospheric vehicle. It allows you to move around planet surfaces. You will be gifted one at the end of this tutorial. Everything in this speeder is functional and plays a role in making it work. Let's quickly review its different elements. Here are the hover engines, which help the speeder float above the ground. These extra small atmospheric engines are used for propulsion and moving forward. They require fuel, taken from this atmospheric fuel tank. Adjusters are small elements used to create rotational forces and help balance your ship. You also need brakes to be able to slow down. And finally, you need a piloting seat to be able to fly it. Activating this piloting seat activates the ship, which is how you take control of it. All these elements are orchestrated via a Lua script that is generated automatically for you. But you can also modify it via a right-click menu on the piloting seat to create absolutely any kind of control you like.
Okay, krass.
Note that piloting in the atmosphere of a planet or in outer space can be very different, and involves different types of engines and design. Gravity may ground you if you have a heavy cargo on a high-gravity planet, while it won't matter in the darkness of space. Piloting is an art, a subtle interplay between your piloting skills and the craftsmanship of the ship designer. You can learn more about piloting in the dedicated tutorials in the Piloting Institute. Piloting is not only about navigating your ship, but will often also involve combat. Look up at the fighter above your head. I've highlighted the weapons that are equipped on this small ship. There are many more types of weapons, ammunition, and damage types. Each has a specific role. This is a small fighter, but you can also build giant battleships with a crew of hundreds of people, each assigned to a particular task. There is much more to discover about combat, so you should definitely visit the Military Institute to know more. Now, let's go to the last station and learn about organizations. Follow the waypoint. Organizations are a fundamental part of your social life as a Novian. They are groups that you can join, covering things like nations, corporations, alliances, or even group of pirates. Let's have a quick look at the organization interface. As you can expect, you are not part of any organization. You can search through this list, focusing on open organizations, which are recruiting, or sorting by member numbers, name, or language. To apply for an organization, you need to open its details page. Click on the name of any of the listed organizations to open its details page. In this window, you can see a summary of relevant information regarding this organization. This area will allow you to apply to join this organization, along with a place to write a quick introduction. Joining an organization can be a considerable boost for your new life as a Novian. Choose wise. You can also decide to create your organization from scratch, even if this is a little bit more advanced. For example, managing an organization involves legates and members, rules, voting, and management of rights. This is something you will discover later. You can now close the Excellent. You have covered the basics. Now, let's move to the next step and talk about talents. Follow the waypoint.
Talente. Das wird interessant.
Open the talent window by pressing the talent key. Talents define your character abilities. They are grouped into categories that are displayed all around your avatar in this window. Here, for example, is the mining and Excellent. On the left, each category hosts several talents. Select the nanopack upgrades talent that just appeared. Talents can be upgraded from level 1 up to level 5 by spending talent points. Each level acquired boosts a certain characteristic described just below its name. For example, here the nanopack upgrades help to increase the size of the inventory by 200 liters for each talent level acquired. The amount of talent points you currently have is displayed on the top of the screen. Talent points shown here accumulate at a slow rate even when you are offline. The Invest Points button allows you to instantly train a particular talent. You need to have enough points for the talent you are aiming for. To accumulate points more quickly, queue a talent. Queuing boosts considerably. As you can see, the selected talent now displays in the queue. You can queue several talents to train one after the other. Note that dependencies between talents might exist, and you should train talents in the right order. See how the acquisition rate is much faster during active learning, when a talent is in a queue. It is a good practice to always have several talents scheduled in the queue, to be able to train them without interruption. Queued talents also train when you are offline. So, make sure to always have a filled queue that spans a long duration. If the queue ends when you are not online, you will fall back to the slow talent point accumulation rate.
Oh ja.
Take your time to review the existing talents, and think about how you want to plan them out. You can become hyper-specialized, or decide to be a jack of all trades.
Also Eve Online lässt grüßen.
You can close the talent window.
Oh. Okay. Da will ich mir ganz kurz mal noch die verschiedenen Reiter kurz angucken. Ja, das ist Eve Online, Leute. Und es ist auch ein gutes System. Ich mag diese Art von Talent Lernsystem auch. Ja, da werde ich mich auf jeden Fall noch austoben.
At this point, you may be overwhelmed by the number of interfaces and their shortcuts. Thankfully, you don't have. The menu on the left is a quick access to the interfaces. And since your mouse is now free, you can simply click on them. Note that you can also select the tools in your toolbar, and interact with many more menus and options in this mode. For example, the notification icon in the lower right part of the screen, which you can now access. An excellent reference is the codex. You can browse many topics in the menu here. Normally when you leave the free mouse mode, temporary windows are closed. Not the windowed codex. It can be helpful to pin some help content on the side, while you are performing the actions described in it. For now, we are going to close this window, as we need the screen space. To do so, click again on the windowed codex menu.
Das ist auch sehr gut. Das sieht mir auch schon mal nach was aus. Ich will mal testweise was eingeben, was suchen. Generator an sich findet er nicht. Size findet er nicht. Chip. Ja, er findet schon was. Okay.
Another source of help are hints. You can always find. Okay. Now, close the free mouse mode and return to the 3D view. To do so, press the free mouse key again.
Ah, ich habe... Bei F5 kann man die Fenster fixieren auf eine gewisse Art. Oder es wird super, dass das gerade eben durchsichtig war und nicht weggegangen ist. Aber hier diese Hinweise, das ist das, was sie gerade kurz erklärt hatte. Und das sind ja auch nochmal schöne Erklärungen, die wir schon gelesen haben, können wir eben auch ausblenden oder einblenden lassen. Genauso versteckte. So. Das ist eine schöne Aktivität zeigen. Und da stützt das Spiel ab. Er macht aber auch nichts. Ich denke, das Wichtigste von den Tutorien haben wir jetzt erstmal hier gesehen. Und ich werde mir das Spiel jetzt weiter einverleiben. Und dann mal gucken, ob ich euch da etwaige Highlights dann entsprechend in einem Video präsentieren kann. Das war die Beta zu Dual Universe. Erster Eindruck. Und ich danke euch fürs Einschalten.